Have you ever considered that a truly great novel might have more in common with a skyscraper than with, say, a painting? It's a really cool idea, and today we're going to dive into it. This concept of writing as a form of architecture. It's all about deliberately building worlds with words, and we're about to see exactly how that works.
So let's start with the big question. What is writing really? At its core, is it just this burst of raw, unfiltered emotion? A spontaneous overflow of feelings? Or is there something more calculated going on? A process of intentional, deliberate design? That's the tension we're going to explore.
Think about it. Every single writer starts with the exact same raw material, life. And let's be honest, life is messy. It's a total jumble of fragmented memories, events that don't seem connected, and just chaotic experiences. It's like a pile of uncut stone or unshaped clay that the artist has to figure out what to do with.
And okay, this is where the magic really starts to happen. We have to kind of reframe how we see the writer, not just as a storyteller, but as a master planner, an architect who can look at all that chaos and see the blueprint for a grand structure underneath.
So, what do we actually mean by a literary architect? Well, it's a creator who intentionally designs and constructs. The key here is taking that messy reality we were just talking about and transforming it into something stable, something harmonious. It's all about imposing a meaningful order onto pure chaos.
I just love this phrasing, an intentional designer, because that really highlights that none of this is accidental. It's a careful, almost methodical process of taking the randomness of life and shaping it into a structured, powerful literary form.
But of course, no architect can just start building, right? You need a plan. And for the literary architect, that blueprint for creating meaning isn't drawn with pure emotion. Nope. It's built on a solid foundation of logic and pure craftsmanship.
And this table just lays out the difference so perfectly. On one side, you have the sentimental writer. Their primary tool, raw emotion. Their goal, often it's a kind of personal catharsis. But then you look at the literary architect. It's a totally different game. Their tools are logic and craft. They're focused on structure and order, all to achieve one thing, an enduring form that's built to last.
So what's the most important tool in that architectural toolbox? It all comes down to this idea of rigorous internal order. This is the logical framework, the internal consistency that holds the whole thing together. It's the scaffolding of the story. Think about a great mystery novel, where every single clue just clicks perfectly into place at the end. That is literary architecture.
All right, so blueprints in hand, now comes the really fun part, the actual construction. We're moving from the planning phase to the building phase, assembling all those individual pieces into one unified, cohesive world.
And this construction process really boils down to 3 key steps. First, the author has to survey all the fragments, all those messy little bits of life. Then, they impose order on them, using that logical blueprint we talked about. And finally, they unify all these separate realities into a single cohesive world where every single element has a purpose.
And the result of all this careful planning and construction, it isn't just a story, it's a masterpiece. It's a totally cohesive work where every character, every plot point, every single sentence feels like it absolutely belongs. It's a world that feels complete because it was built to be complete and built to last.
But why? Why go to all this trouble? What's the ultimate point of this whole architectural approach? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple and pretty profound. It's about building for permanence.
This really gets to the heart of everything. On one hand, you have transience, the fact that life is fleeting, memories fade, moments disappear. But on the other hand, you have the permanence that a well-built story can offer. In a way, writing like this becomes a fight against time itself. So, ultimately, by acting as an architect, a writer creates something truly special, a stable form that can stand strong amidst all the chaos of life. They build something solid, a structure that we can return to again and again, long after the moments that inspired it are gone. It's a legacy carved in words.
And that brings us to the final thought, one for you to take away. When you start to see your own creativity through this architectural lens, it kind of changes everything. It's not just about what you feel, it's about what you can build. So the question isn't just, what story will you tell? It's, what masterpiece will you design?